Om Gam Ganapatya Namaha. Kaliyugada Kalpataru. The Fifth Delight. Shri Raghavendra Gurusarvabhauma. Chapter 78. The Majestic Procession of the Bhatta Sangraha. At noon, Shri Raghavendra Swami ascended the presidential seat and cast his glance over the assembly of scholars. There was a certain eagerness in the atmosphere, which did not escape the omniscient Guru's notice. Understanding the reason behind this excitement, he smiled knowingly. Among the great scholars of the time, Nilakanta Dikshita, a renowned exponent of all scriptures, was deeply attached to the Bhatta school of Purva Mimamsa. He had numerous disciples and had planned a day's debate well in advance. As a part of this plan, one of his foremost disciples initiated a scholarly debate, presenting arguments from the Bhatta school of Mimamsa. In response, the senior Madhva scholar Ramachandra Acharya swiftly countered and refuted the arguments. After an initial exchange of arguments and rebuttals, Nilakanta Dikshita himself entered the debate, demonstrating his exceptional intellect and reinforcing his Purvapaksha, that is, oppositional stance. He then turned to Sri Raghavendra Swami and addressed him with great reverence. O great Swami, so far we have had the privilege of witnessing the debates of your disciples and scholars of your Matha, and we have been delighted by their erudition. However, we have yet to hear the nectar-like words of wisdom directly from you. I earnestly request you to fulfill this desire of ours today. Recognizing Dikshita's clever strategy in posing this challenge, Sri Raghavendra Swami nodded with appreciation and responded with a smile. Dikshita, it is our duty to honor the request of distinguished scholars such as yourself. Let it be so. Nilakanta Dikshita joined his hands in respects, added humbly, Swami, we do not mean to challenge you to a debate, but we have longed to listen to your divine wisdom. With a gentle laugh, Sri Raghavendra Swami replied, Dikshita, even if you had invited me for a debate, there would have been no harm in that. In fact, we have been anticipating your invitation for the past 3 days. Now that you have extended it, we are pleased. We shall now respond to your Purvapaksha. With unparalleled erudition, Sri Raghavendra Swami methodologically analyzed and refuted Dikshita's arguments, providing precise and authoritative answers to every doubt and objection raised. At that moment, he shone with the radiance of Goddess Saraswati herself, captivating the audience with his wisdom. The sheer brilliance of his intellect left the entire assembly spellbound. As Sri Raghavendra Swami continued his discourse, Dikshita realized the extraordinary depth of the Guru's knowledge in Bhatta Mimamsa. The Guru's flawless reasoning and scriptural references resolved every doubt raised by the scholars. Finally, Dikshita, overcome with joy and admiration, rose from his seat and exclaimed, Excellent, excellent. The entire gathering erupted in applause, expressing their admiration through loud cheers and gestures of reverence. Recognizing this rare moment of divine scholarship, Dikshita now presented a challenge of an even higher order. He posed several intricate and unresolved questions from Bhatta Mimamsa, saying, These complex aspects of Mimamsa have remained unresolved for even the greatest scholars. I too have struggled with them for years. Swami, please resolve this for me. With a gracious smile, Sri Raghavendra Swami answered each question effortlessly, providing unparalleled clarity. What had seemed insurmountable to others now appeared simple and self-evident through his wisdom. He then asked, Dikshita, are you now satisfied? Overwhelmed with reverence and amazement, Nilakanta Dikshita could hardly believe his ears. His long-standing scholarly dilemmas had been dispelled as if they were mere trivialities. He immediately stood up, tied his upper garment around his waist as a mark of humility, and prostrated before Sri Raghavendra Swami 3 times. Swami, I am blessed beyond words. Truly, you are an Abhinava Bhatta, that is a reincarnation of the great Kumarila Bhatta. Meeting a scholar of your caliber is my greatest fortune. You have deepened my understanding of the Bhatta school and resolved doubts that I had carried for years. I bow to you in gratitude. Witnessing this extraordinary movement, King Tirumala Nayaka and all the assembled scholars burst into joyous exclamations chanting, "Victory through Sri Raghavendra Gurusarvabhauma." Lakshmi Narasimhacharya then took the stage and addressed the assembly. Our revered Nilakanta Dikshita, being a great scholar himself, has wholeheartedly praised the unparalleled intellect of Sri Guru Raghavendra Swami. Today, we have all witnessed his extraordinary expertise in Mimamsa, especially in the Bhatta school. However, what many may not know is that our Guru has composed a remarkable treatise on Bhatta Mimamsa titled Bhatta Sangraha, which is truly one of a kind. I now present this monumental text to Dikshita for his review and opinion. Upon receiving the Bhatta Sangraha, Dikshita was astounded. What? Has Swami himself composed this extraordinary text? This is a historic moment. He has bestowed great honor upon our Bhatta school by writing this Grantha. This is a matter of unparalleled joy. In honor of this historic contribution, King Tirumala Nayaka made a grand proclamation. Just as the great Vidyaranya once honored Sri Jayatirtharu's works by carrying them in a grand procession atop an elephant, we too shall honor this Bhatta Sangraha with the highest royal recognition. Thus, it was decided that the Bhatta Sangraha would be placed upon a golden throne and paraded atop a majestic elephant throughout the city. On the day of the grand procession, the entire royal city of Madurai gathered to witness the celebration. The decorated elephant bearing the golden seat upon which the Bhatta Sangraha was placed led the grand parade. King Tirumala Nayaka and Nilakanta Dikshita stood on either side, waving ceremonial fans, that is chamaras, as a mark of reverence. The royal artillery fired 21 salutes. The scholars chanted Vedic hymns, and the streets resonated with auspicious music. Thousands of devotees showered flowers upon the procession, which wound its way through every major street of Madurai, with victory chants resounding through the air. For 2 hours, the grand elephant-led procession carried the Bhatta Sangraha throughout the city, finally reaching the Saraswati Mandira, where it was formally enshrined. This unprecedented honor evoked memories of the time when Vidyaranya had honored Sri Jayatirtharu's works in a similar manner. Thus, in the history of Dvaita philosophy, there has been 2 grand processions of great texts: the procession of Jayatirtharu's works under Vidyaranya's patronage, the historic parade of Sri Raghavendra Swami's Bhatta Sangraha in Madurai. The assembly roared with joy at this declaration. That evening, Sri Raghavendra Swami honored Tirumala Nayaka and Nilakanta Dikshita, bestowing them with sacred gifts, titles and blessings. The next day, after offering prayers at the temple of Meenakshi Sundareshwara, he dedicated all the honors he had received to Sri Moolarama before setting out for Sri Rangakshetra. Hari Om. Om Sri Krishnarpanamastu.